All right, welcome to week 15 of our League Pick'em Thing series. My name is Chris, and joined with me is my friend Jason.
Hey, Chris. Good to be back. A little bit more normal around here. And we've got finally another week with no buys in the NFL coming up. How you feeling about that?
Uh, you know, I, I'm sad every time the season comes to an end. It seems like it goes by so fast, and like every self respecting American, there's a hole in my heart when football season's over.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Even like the first week that we don't get football, like right before the Super Bowl, between the championship games and the big dance, it just feels like such an empty week for me.
Yeah. Oh, plus side,
Uh-huh.
I made the playoffs in my fantasy league by 3 points. Yeah, it was win and I'm in, or if I lost, four other people had to lose for me to get in. So I really had to win, and it was all on the back of Josh Allen.
3 points, man, and with
Yeah.
you, the way your scoring work, that's probably like one completion or something like that.
Well, no, of course not. But we'll get to it anyway. First
All
up,
right.
we got the Thursday night game. We got this super close game between the Packers and the Lions, much closer than their first encounter earlier in the season. But the Lions obviously came up ahead, which is what we both
I
picked.
was so sad I did not get to see this because it looked like an awesome game as I was looking at the updates while I was in the airport. This looked like an awesome game.
Oh, that reminds me, I gotta do our stat lineup. We both went 2-2 in our contested picks this week,
All right. How do
so
we
that
do
means
overall?
we also both went 9-5 accordingly.
All right,
And
respectable.
that brings me up to 142 and 67 on the season. I maintain my 3 game lead over Jason, who has 139 and 70. So only a few weeks left to catch up, my man.
Man,
So
you've been nursing that little lead since like week 6. It's been growing smaller and smaller. And
it was plus
honestly,
seven at one point.
I'm like a viper under the grass. I'm just waiting for the right time to strike.
I well, if I stop picking goofy things on purpose, I'll keep pulling ahead, man.
That's what you think.
All right. That brings us next to our morning games. Why don't you walk us through this first game and tell us how embarrassing it was for the Jets to almost beat the Dolphins?
This game was never in doubt. Let me tell you. No, this was a little bit wild. Jets played probably their best offensive game of the season, and were ahead for most of the way. Miami made a few different comebacks late, including an 8 point drive right near the end to tie it up. Jets went down, and they actually could have milked the clock and kicked a field goal, except Aaron Rodgers was a dumbass and took a sack, and Devontae Adams was a dumbass and didn't make any effort to get out of bounds when he caught a ball. And so, even though they made a good field goal kick, Miami went down in about a minute and did the same thing, took it to overtime, and put gangrene away. It looked like a really exciting game. I did not actually get to see it on the TV because I was out of town and it wasn't in my market, but I was following it closely and it looked like a really, really exciting game.
There is an app you can get on your phone where you can peruse like the radio stations of every team. So even if you don't get to watch it, you can always listen to every game on their
I
local
think
radio
the
station.
I had to
It's
be
not
so
the
quiet
next
in the
best
hotel. I
thing.
think the walls in my hotel on this trip were basically like Japanese shoji paper or something.
Well,
You could hear everything.
if you have little plugins, you can put those in your ears.
Oh, that's true. I had headphones. I could have done that. But anyway, yeah, this game looked great. And yeah, Miami keeps its playoff hopes alive. I actually saw a an article looking to predict which teams were going to make the AFC playoffs, and they had Miami finishing 9-8 and getting the 7 seed, so that we can, of course, go one and done again.
Yeah, you think Miami can win a playoff game and change the
I don't.
course of history?
I was gonna say, just stop after. Do you think Miami can win a playoff game? Um, no, not against a high seed. I don't think so.
Yeah, because it would be against the second seed,
Right,
probably.
right. Yeah, if we actually like managed to put a wire to wire season together, didn't have any random losses to Tennessee, didn't have Tua get injured at any point, finish 12-5. Yeah, I think we could win a playoff game, against the lower seed.
In fact, if
But
they
no,
get in the
we're,
playoffs, they're basically guaranteed to play the Bills.
we're not going to beat the Bills. We're not going to beat the Chiefs. Who else could it beat at number two? We're not going
Steelers.
to beat the Steelers, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. We match up a little bit better against the Steelers, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Ugh.
All
All
right.
right.
Let's talk less depressing thoughts.
Yeah. Enough of
Kirk
that.
Ball, tell me
Enough
about
of that
this.
delusion. All
Yeah.
right. Then we have my boy Kirk, who's officially in like meltdown mode. Unfortunately,
This is
getting
depressing thoughts for you.
yes, very depressing. He's literally thrown 0 touchdown and 8 picks in the last 4 games. Very sad. He gets blown out by the Vikings. They're actually talking about having that Michael Penix guy come out and bench Kirk. It's very sad.
So immature, but I love his name.
Yeah, I really hope Kirk gets a bounce back game this week to show his strut his stuff. But very sad.
Otherwise, he can get screwed by the Phoenix.
It's sad to watch Sam Darnold put up like 5 touchdowns. But what are you gonna do?
What's sad about that?
I don't know. I'm not really a believer.
I like him.
Then, in one of our contested picks, the Saints barely get the win over the garbage ass Giants. I didn't watch this game, but it looked pathetic, 14-11.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually got to see this one in bonus coverage, only in the last couple minutes of the game, and the Giants put together this like ridiculously good final drive. They looked like they were like the frickin' Buffalo Bills, honestly, or the Lions. I'm not exaggerating. For this one drive, their offense looked like they had it looked like the New York Giants were like the NBA pros from Space Jam after they got the talent sucked out of them. And then it
Wow.
looked like they had like gotten their talent back for like 45 seconds. It was amazing.
You had to
And
reach
then
real far for that metaphor.
kicked an easy field goal and it got blocked. Game over. New Orleans wins.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Eagles, or the Panthers, who played a very close game against the Eagles and almost beat the Eagles, just like they've almost beat a lot of good teams in the last 3 weeks for some reason.
Yeah, this is a team that really keeps fighting. I did get to see a lot of this game actually, because I was in the Carolina market, and yeah, the Panthers actually looked pretty good. I kind of felt the whole time they're gonna choke, they're gonna choke, they're gonna choke, and they did. Um, as much as I was rooting for them, but yeah, the Eagles just showed they were the better team in the end. But they also showed how sloppy they're capable of being. That they let a team like Carolina get that far ahead of them. But Carolina, it's very admirable how they keep fighting. And with as many games as they're losing, they're going to have a great draft pick next year if they haven't already traded it away. I'm not sure what the situation is there. They're going to have an easier schedule because they're going to play the other fourth place teams in the division, I think. And they might be a real surprise, turnaround team next year. In the case of Philly, I think they're a very good team. I don't think they're going very far in the playoffs. What do you think?
The Eagles?
Yeah,
I mean, with how shockingly upgraded
they
their
won
defense,
amazing.
with how good their defense has been
Uh-huh.
the second half of the season, I think they can go all the way, and I think they might be upset. I mean, their offense is super good, and their defense is now one of the best in the league. Suddenly, I don't know how that transformation suddenly happened in like a few
I mean,
weeks, but
in theory, right? They can play really well on any side of the ball, right? Like Darius Slay is a beast.
I think the Eagles, they can go one and done, and they can win the Super Bowl. I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking they might win one game in the playoffs. I don't think they're going any further than that. Personally, I just think they're too inconsistent.
They shut down the Ravens, so maybe they can.
They are a very good team, right?
Maybe
They're
they
they're
can
still
shut
a
down the Lions. I don't know. It could happen. I don't know.
Oh, that's gonna be hard to do, man.
Yeah, I know.
All right, next we got Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
What do you
this
think
is
about this one? I
this
think
was
we
the
predicted this, right?
revenge match from Jameis's first start where he beat the Patriots. Unfortunately, no blizzard,
The Steelers?
no blizzard, and they came up short in this one. I actually expected Jameis to go off a lot more in this one, but the Pittsburgh D really stepped up on this one.
Yeah, I said before the first time that they played, I don't think that the Steelers are going to fall for this trap game, and they did. But I think it's no longer a trap game. They're like, we cannot let this happen again.
There's a reason we both picked the Steelers this time. You know.
Absolutely. Oh, didn't we both pick the Steelers last time too?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Yeah, just a very good game overall by the Steelers. I don't know that I had that much else to say about it. That they're absolutely a legitimate Super Bowl contender right now.
Yeah, my prediction right now is Steelers Lions or Bills Lions in the Super Bowl.
Man, you love those Lions, but yeah, it's hard to argue with you.
That's my Super Bowl prediction. And if
Yeah.
I had to really guess, I'm gonna say Steelers Lions Super Bowl. Yeah.
Well, we can talk later. Maybe we can make some type of just like fun bet for who's more likely to make the Super Bowl, the Chiefs or the Steelers.
Well, here's the thing: in the AFC, I think a lot of the good teams' offenses have all lost a step, whereas the Steelers are like the only offense that's kept getting better, and their defense has always been superb. So that's my rationale. I think all of the good offenses in the AFC have all lost a step. So
I mean the Bills still look really good. Miami's offense still looks quite good.
I think they're good. I don't think they're as good
Yeah.
as people think.
And the Ravens, I don't know that I could say that they've lost a step. You think they have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the
I mean,
Chiefs,
it's
the
fair.
Bills,
I think
the
you can
Ravens,
make the argument, right? They've been so
the
good for the last few
Texans,
years.
all of them have lost.
Chargers actually looking a lot better than usual too.
Who?
All
Say
right. What do we
who's
got
look?
next? Was this Toilet Bowl? Oh no, Tennessee Jacksonville was Toilet Bowl. We've got
Yeah,
the Raiders and Buccaneers next.
yeah. The one touchdown the Raiders got was in garbage time, so this was just complete domination by the Bucks, predictably. We
All
both
right.
picked the Bucks, obviously.
Yep, that
And
was an
then we
easy
got
pick, I think.
Shit Bowl 14 down here, where I did pick Tennessee's defense to get me into the playoffs, and they did deliver. It was like 6-0 for like 3/4 of this game.
That's nice. Now tell me why you were wrong.
Well, they just couldn't survive the Mac Jones attack in the second or the fourth
Mac
quarter.
attack!
Yes, exactly. They just didn't want it enough. I thought, I think that the Titans do have a sneaky good defense. Obviously, both these teams' offenses are the pits, but yeah, when it push came to shove, the Jaguars were able to scrape together 2 drives. So
Sneaky
good
good, I'd
job
say.
with that pick, bro.
Yeah, man. I knew if I kept picking them, it would pay off at some point.
You're right up there with the Saints Giants pick, man. Someone
Yeah,
has to win, right? Yeah.
pretty much. Next we got the NFC West showdown.
Yeah, this is our third contested pick. This one, obviously, these two teams are wildly more competent. And
Yeah.
the Seahawks have put together 4 straight wins now. Got to start taking them more seriously, I suppose. 8-5. I mean, that's not so bad. I think the
They've been a
Texans are
roller
8-5.
coaster this season, though. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like they're playoff bound now that they have a couple of games on the division. And the Cardinals, after winning 4 in a row, now they've lost 3 in a row. So that's disappointing.
Yeah, at 6-7, it's hard to see the path for the Cardinals. I think the one team that's going to maybe stop the Seahawks is the Rams. I believe the Rams got the win the first time they played.
I don't recall, but maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think they've still got one more play. But yeah, it's a very interesting division. You still can't count out the 49ers. But yeah, the Seahawks, looking pretty good on a solid win streak and leading the division right now.
And then next up, of course, the banger of the week, the 42-44 game where the Bills just barely come up short against the Rams. And, someone had to win this. The effort by Josh in this game was like 5x the effort that Stafford put into this game, because there was so much running from like Kyron Williams on the Rams, whereas Justin Cook basically was shut down completely in this game, and it was like all Josh going down the field with the Bills.
James Cook.
James Cook, yeah.
Yeah, I watched like the first like two and a half or three quarters of this game. I have to
Uh-huh.
be honest, I fell asleep during it. Um, not because I wasn't enjoying it, because I was really, really tired. And I kind of let myself fall asleep because the Rams were up by 4 touchdowns at that point.
They
I
were
seen
never
that
up that much.
it was definitely over 3 touchdowns. I think they were up
It
27-3 or
it
something.
was like 17 at one point.
Okay. Anyway, they were just clearly dominating. The Bills D at that point could not stop Williams or Puka or Cooper. They couldn't stop anything. It was pretty cool to watch. I'm a big LA Rams fan. So it was really cool just seeing everything that they did work so well against a good defense, and gave me a lot of hope, maybe false hope. Didn't get to see the absolutely monumental comeback that the Bills made at the end. Did they actually have a shot to win at any point, or did they kind of bring it within 2 points with their last score, and the Rams just salted it away?
And there's so much scoring that game. I actually don't remember like the last
Fair, fair.
thing of the game.
Yeah, this was a great game.
They were only able to stop the Rams like once or twice defensively the whole game. So
hmm
yeah,
I think they did force a couple punts. I think they were punts and not turnovers near the end. I'm guessing the Rams, started playing just like a nutless offense.
all I know
But
is my boy Josh had 6 touchdowns this game,
oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. The best fantasy performances by a quarterback are always when you're behind for most of the game, and they're usually in a loss.
yep, he stamped my ticket to the playoffs. I was able to win by 3 points and just barely survived the Jamar Chase blitz that my opponent put on Monday,
Man,
where he
your
dropped,
opponents could not survive Allentown.
yeah, he dropped 45 fucking fantasy points, man, and Allen had 79. Absolutely
Hey,
awesome.
good for you, man. Good for you. Let's hit those last three.
All right, next up we got the Bears and the Niners, and we both thought the Bears had a good chance to win this, but boy,
Yeah.
were we wrong, and I never underestimate the Bears' ability to fuck things up, apparently. So,
Yeah, I remember I think I said this was like a true 50-50, and I just went with my gut. My gut was wrong on this one.
yeah, I thought the Bears had a really good shot at this, but the 49ers offense just really showed up, and then the Bears defense really did not show up. So,
Yeah, this was just absolute domination, if I recall.
yeah, I have
Yeah,
George Kittle, and he did well for me. Let's just say that.
absolute domination by the 49ers. Again, looking like they, could end up being not just a spoiler, but maybe a contender in the race for that division.
Their only way in now is to win the division. So,
Sure, sure, sure. But I
but
think that they've got a real shot to do it. With all the divisional games you get at the end of the season. The
yeah,
49ers are a team that just hasn't played to their potential, largely because of injuries, but also largely just because of not playing to their potential for a lot of this season.
I think even if the
Um,
Niners win out, I think they're gonna have a hard time making the playoffs.
Meanwhile, what do you think about the Bears? Is this just gross ineptitude?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Did Matt Eberflus, was he actually holding things together except for the all the collapses?
no, I think they're better without him. They were smart to get rid of him, that's for sure. They were smart to fire their offensive coordinator a week or two before that. Now there comes a point in time where you just gotta, throw your hands up in the air and clean the table.
Yeah. All
And
right, then we got the Chargers and Chiefs. I did not get to see this one, so tell me why I was right.
well, in textbook garbage Chiefs fashion, they were like losing most of the game and then just barely won at the last second with a fucking field goal.
Do
Another
you think
completely bullshit garbage performance by the Chiefs offense, and then they barely managed to scrape by at the last second.
you think the Chiefs are like the teenagers on the neighborhood block that wants to get like the 6-year-olds to play football with them? So they say, "Let's play to 10 touchdowns. We'll spot you 9 touchdowns. There's no way you can lose."
Worst analogy ever. Let's move on.
All right.
Okay, Monday night we have the Bengals surprisingly just barely beating the Cowboys. Of course, I watched this game, And I'm sure you heard about how this game ended. Textbook Cowboys buffoonery.
It's just so sad, man.
Did you see the final play of this game?
I did not see the final play of this game. No,
You don't know how this one ended? It was so
I
funny.
do not. What happened?
Oh, so the Cowboys defense was actually pretty competent in this game, surprisingly. So they got the Bengals on like a 3-and-out when it was 20-20.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys blocked the Bengals punt. And then a rookie Cowboy touched the blocked punt but didn't catch it.
Uh-huh.
And then a Bengals recovered it and they got a new set of downs.
Oh no!
It's like they were rewarded for their own blocked punt, basically. My mom was super mad. She was like, well, why don't they just... they didn't advance it far enough. It was also like 4th and 20. Like, they didn't advance it far enough to, like, get a first down, so why are they getting rewarded with a new set of downs? So I'm like, that's a good question. But apparently that's how it works, so...
One of those things where you just, like the rules were made to, to reward the things that are meant to be rewarded under most circumstances, and then you get these weird edge cases where it's just because of the way that the rules are procedurally done.
They were like on the
And
20
this is
and...
the type of thing that just happens all the time in the NFC East.
They were like on the 20 or 30, so if they just didn't touch it, or if the guy managed to catch it, Cowboys would have easily gotten the field goal and just won the game. Because I think, personally, I think the Cowboys have the best kicker in the league. So
But the Cowboys season is done now.
I don't think it's officially done, but it is done.
It's done. Do you think that the Bengals at 5-8 have a shot to run the table and sneak into the playoffs?
No.
No.
No, I mean they have the same record as the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I think the AFC, 7th seed is going to be a little bit weaker than the NFC's.
I think there's more stronger AFC teams right now than strong NFC teams.
Okay, I feel like the AFC is very top heavy. The division winners are really good. But anyway, yeah. So you don't think the Bengals have it in them? They have to beat other AFC North teams anyway. That's going to be a hard ask.
The only way the Bengals can sneak in is if the Texans fumble most of the season, but still win the division. So they're better than whoever their second place division winner is. That's the only way the Bengals can sneak in.
You look at these two teams, and I think both of them were really surprised to see them 5-8 right now.
Of course. Cowboys have been 12-5 the last 3 years, man. Every season's the season, man.
Yeah, but the last few seasons have been the season for Cincy, and yeah, this is weird. Prop bets: you had Jameis Winston and Russell both taking 5 or more sacks in the same game. I think there was 3-1. Jameis got sacked 3 times, and then I had 3 1-point margins of victory. We actually didn't have any. But there were 2 2-point margins and 2 3-point margins, so we did have some close games. And let's head to week 15.
Okay, here we go. We got the game that's literally on in like 2 hours from now.
Yeah, it's been a weird week for both of us.
Yeah, I hate doing these so late, but what are you going to do? First up, we've got the Rams going to the 49ers or San Francisco on Thursday night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I honestly think is like a pure toss-up. I mean, obviously the Rams just came off that crazy game, but the 49ers have been fumbling it the whole season, so who knows? I could see both teams showing up, and I could see both teams underperforming. At the moment, though, I'm going to have to give it to the Rams just because of the hot hand, and yeah.
This is going to be an incredible division if San Francisco wins and Seattle loses. It's going to be such a tight race at the end. I do think that the Rams showed me enough in the last few weeks, especially as Puka's getting healthier again, to put this one away. But I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers won at home either. I'm taking the Rams.
Me too. Next up, we've got the Cowboys going to Carolina, right next to Jason's new apartment, I think. So, yeah, I mean, what are we going to... I can't believe I have to pick the Cowboys for this, but at the same time, the Panthers have been playing
You don't
so
have
many.
to pick the Cowboys for this.
They've been playing so many close games. I could see them losing to the Cowboys or losing. Or the Cowboys
You have
losing to the
clown,
Panthers and
you have
embarrassing
clown
for me.
car against a team whose abbreviation is car.
Oh man, this is so hard. That both teams are bad, but good-ish can
Dallas
be
is
decent.
underperforming. In a way, Carolina is overperforming.
I'm gonna give it to the Cowboys because their
You're
defense.
going for the clown car. I'm going for the real car. I'm taking the
Uh,
Panthers.
Cowboys defense has really come alive the last 3 weeks for whatever that's worth.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's no way they're going to be able to stop Adam Thielen.
Okay, he's like Jerry Rice somehow now.
I mean, he's probably as old as Jerry Rice by this point.
we can't stop Rice Young. He's related to Steve Young. Yeah.
Jerry Rice Young.
Next up, we've got the Chiefs at Cleveland. I actually think this will be a surprisingly close game just because the Chiefs are garbage. What?
Shut the fuck up. You think this is going to be a close game?
Bro, Jameis has been putting up massive numbers, dude. Maybe they haven't always translated to points.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs defense has vastly underperformed this season. I'm telling you, man. This could be.
No, they've been good. The offense has underperformed.
They both underperformed, man. I'm telling you. I think this could be a very close game. I can see the Chiefs losing this. The Chiefs have just been so bad. I am going with the Browns. I told myself I wouldn't pick any more dumb stuff. But
I thought you were going to try to stop making clown picks.
Well, I was right about the
Carolina,
Bills.
you had the opportunity to get a +1, and no, you gave it right back by taking the Browns. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, in fairness to you, they have won a lot of games very close this season, but they've won all of those games close. They're just so much better than the Cleveland Browns are.
You know what? Mahomes has also been sacked more this season than his entire career. And
how many losses has that led to?
The Browns have a good pass rush and a good defense, so I could see Mahomes being under a shitload
Here's
of pressure.
the reason I actually really like the Chiefs, particularly in this matchup. Jameis is as scintillating as he can be. Also, makes a lot of turnovers. The Chiefs' defense, if nothing else, is very opportunistic. I think they're going to take advantage of that. And I'm going to give my prop bet for the week right now, if you want.
As long as it's not a goofy one about team scores.
Jameis Winston making 5 turnovers between interceptions and fumbles this week.
That's bold, man. That's a lot of turnovers, man.
It is. That's a lot of turnovers. Okay, I think he's going to have a Kurt Warner, post Kurt Warner greatness like game. Or at least post Kurt Warner's first greatness. I guess he did come back on the Cardinals and he was great once again. It was the rise, fall, and rise of Kurt. Anyway, that aside, yeah, I think Kansas City is going to really be opportunistic, and I think this is going to be one of their few blowout wins of the season.
Well, you know what? Just for that, my prop pick is the Chiefs will have less than 21. Mahomes will turn it over at least twice, and he's going to get sacked 5 times. And Mahomes is really quick with getting out of the pocket, so that's tough.
That's quite a handful, but I wrote it down. I got it.
All 3? You got all 3?
I got all 3.
Okay.
You might never mind. It was a dumb pun I was about to make. Just go on.
Next up, we've got the Dolphins traveling to Houston. This should probably actually be a close game because the Texans have kind of downgraded themselves and the Dolphins are fairly hot since Tua came back. I see this as pretty close. This Texans defense has become ferocious in the latter half of the season for some reason.
Yeah, but their offense isn't playing quite as well. Yeah. So you can look at this a lot of different ways.
How are you looking at it?
I'm looking at it like I'm probably overconfident and we're probably going to collapse. But everything in my gut is telling me Miami knows they need it right now. It's still just week 15. I think they're going to collapse later in the season. I think Miami's actually going to take this one.
Me too. I'm going with Miami.
All right, cool.
CJ Stroud has just played really poorly this season.
All right, now the gangrene, your trap all season against my sneaky good Jaguars. Okay. My trap all season.
Is definitely shit bowl 15
Who's
here with 20 combined losses between the two teams. So,
oh
You know I gotta go with the Jets. If ever there was a turnaround game against the Mac
Uh,
Jones Jags, if ever there was like a comeback or a feel good win, this has got to be the game for the Jets. I don't even see this as stupid. They should be favored. They have a way better offense. So
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the Jets as well. I don't think
what?
Rodgers is going to have a good game, but I just don't think that Jacksonville
Heresy.
will be able to do quite enough against the Jets D. I've got maybe like a 17-13 or so win for the Jets here.
You're picking Aaron to win this?
No, I'm picking the Jets to carry Aaron.
Okay, fair enough. All right, next up we've got the Redskins at New Orleans, and both these teams have been pretty up and down.
Uh-huh.
But without Derek Carr, I got to give it to the Redskins. That's just it. Without Derek Carr, the Saints suck.
Yeah. I can't give it to Doctor No here. The Commanders are just the better team. Yeah, they've had ups and downs. The Saints haven't had too many ups this season after week 2. It's definitely the Commanders. Yeah. Next.
Next up, we've got the Ravens going to New York against the 2-11 Giants.
Do we need to discuss this? Do we need to discuss this? The Giants just beat New Orleans 14-11, or just lost to New Orleans 14-11.
There's orders of magnitude. The Saints have over double their wins.
Next, Cincinnati, Tennessee.
Okay. This one well, yeah. I gotta be honest, the Cowboys are way better than the Titans, and that's hard to say, but it's true. We gotta go with Cincy for this one too. It's pretty.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati as well, but like I think there's a real shot that Cincinnati falls apart, and this ends up looking like a close game, which could go either way.
No, man, their offense is just too good, even if their defense sucks ass.
Yeah, I mean it definitely puts up the points and fits in spurts sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals, right, in our straight pick 'em. But like, if somebody were to give me good enough odds, I would take Tennessee. Like I do think that they've got at least the potential to surprise here.
Man, Jamar Chase was like targeted like 24 times in that Cowboys
Oh my
game.
God, yeah, he's a fantasy beast as well.
All right, next up we've got the Patriots at the Cardinals. This one actually will probably be surprisingly close, I bet. There's been a lot of times I've been burned picking the Patriots. Maybe I should stop doing that. So
You've been picking against them a few times too.
yeah, for some reason I think Drake May has a little more up potential than he's been showing. So I'm not doing it this week. I hate picking Kyler Murray. I don't want to, but I'm going to.
This is tough for me too. I think Arizona at home in December is a lot better than Arizona away in December. And so I will pick the Cardinals as well, with the caveat that it's entirely possible that the Patriots surprise. They're like right on the cusp of I think a renaissance, honestly. Arizona, it's so impossible to tell what they are. They look so good one week and so bad the next.
You say the Patriots are on their cusp of a renaissance?
I really think they are. It might not be a Tom Brady, sized dynasty, but I think they're on the cusp of being a good team once again.
If they had a winning record next season, I think they'd be above expectations.
I would not be shocked if I would not even be surprised if they made the playoffs next season.
Whew, that's
Yeah.
tough. All right, next up we've got the Colts at Denver after Denver's bye, and I'm riding or dying with the Colts D. That's my defense, and yeah, they're just Bo Nix has been so good. And Cortland Sutton's been so good, and in fantasy-wise, Denver has the best defense in fantasy. So I ain't going with the Colts. The Colts are just like the Cardinals. I don't trust them.
Okay, you did say you're rolling with the Colts D here. You meant you're taking Denver?
I said the Denver defense, didn't I?
You said Denver at the end. You said I'm rolling with the Colts D at the beginning.
Okay, I lied.
You're taking Denver.
I lied.
You're taking Denver.
I meant
Okay.
Denver.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Bo Nix has been so much better than I think anybody would have dreamed. That a rookie in his position would be coming into the NFL. Great to see. Whole team is just playing so well around them.
Yeah.
They're not making a lot of mistakes. They're not letting a lot of easy games go. I think there was one that they did, but I love Denver here. Colts are, I think, a mediocre team right now. They can certainly beat a lot of the bottom half teams. I don't think they're beating Denver.
Yeah, Colts are not going to make the playoffs. I think Denver is a lock to make the wild card.
Denver could be another one of those like really surprise I mean, they're probably too young to to kind of be able to keep their poise
Yep.
reliably in the playoffs. Like a lot of the time, you have these great young teams that look like they're going to be superstars in the playoffs, and then something just falls apart.
I think
But
Denver's going to be the 5th or 6th seed, depending how much Baltimore flounders.
in a way, they're the most exciting team in the AFC playoff picture this year.
All right, next
Uh,
up, we've got
yeah.
the inevitable game of the week. We got the
Let's go!
Bills.
This is awesome.
I know I'm going over my dad's to watch this game because the Bills are his favorite team. We're making a
Yeah, I know
special
that, and I
dinner.
know how much you like the Lions. Are you rooting for the Bills for him or the Lions for you? Just rooting wise.
I mean, I love Dan Campbell. I love
Uh-huh.
watching a team that's been bad for so long do well. I want the Lions to do well, but I'm a Bills fan. Come on, come on. I gotta
Okay.
root for the Bills.
I
And
really like the Bills. I kind of like the Lions too. I'll probably be rooting for the Bills, just because I like them and their fans so much. Um,
but who will you be
Now, as
picking?
far as who we think is going to win, though, yeah, this is an incredibly good look. Um, Dude, both of these teams are so for real. This could be. I mean, you said it before. You think this could be a preview of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Both of these are cold weather teams, so I don't think that Buffalo needs to be so worried about being away. I don't think they're gonna care that they're being booed by Detroit fans. Man, Detroit fans, if you're listening, don't boo DeMar Hamlin, please. Okay, the guy's gone through a lot. He's a good guy. Um, he just got a bunch of AEDs put into schools so that kids don't drop dead of heart attacks. Please don't boo DeMar Hamlin. Anyway,
I'm gonna edit that out.
I'm gonna take the Lions in this. I think I said this last week. I can't pick anybody against the Lions right now. They're so good. They're so good.
Yep. Both these teams' defenses are like 10, 11, 12 in the league, so none of them have a great defense, but
A
not
lot of the
bad.
time, your defense. Sorry for cutting you off. A lot of the time, your defense looks worse in the numbers than it actually is if your offense is constantly putting up points.
Yeah, I
Because the other
guess.
team is going to play more, more aggressively in terms of like putting up points and yards against you. And if you're way ahead, you're going to be playing prevent D as well.
I'm gonna pick the Lions too, but I'd love
Yeah,
to be wrong.
yeah, I would love to be wrong too, and I would love to be right. Like I like both of these teams a lot.
I just,
Um,
I think the Bills are not going to be able to slow the Lions down, but I think the Lions are going to be able to slow the Bills down slightly more. And
I do think these are the two
yeah.
best teams in the league, and the Ravens are probably number three, or the Ravens or Steelers. Yeah,
Do you think both teams will score 30 or more points in this game?
no, I don't. I think one team will eclipse 30.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Bucks at Los Angeles against the Chargers. This should actually be a fairly close game, just because I think the Bucks have always had a great offense, but their defense sucks. And now the Chargers, without the running back, they're kind of much worse than they were previously. So I think this is actually pretty close. I'm going to give it to the Bucks
Wow.
because
Okay.
Baker has been awesome, and Evans is
Um,
back, so that's good too.
Finally saw like 5 minutes of a Chargers game for whatever reason. I just can never see their games in general. Um, and I liked what I saw. I'm going with the Chargers this week. I really think that they kind of lack a weakness right now. Whereas Tampa Bay's offense looks all right, but and looks good, but they're just making too many mistakes elsewhere. I'm taking the Chargers, and you've got the Bucks.
Yeah. Next up, we've got basically another game of the week between the Steelers and the Eagles. I wish I could watch every one of them, man, but it's on at the same time as the Bills game.
Oh, that's brutal.
I know. I wish I could watch them all. So we got the Steelers at Philly. This is just. I could see either team's defense coming up so close to just completely trivialize the other team's offense. But this is so hard to call, man. I feel like in a way it's harder to call than the Bills and Lions game. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to trivialize Najee. You're not going to trivialize Saquon. I think both offenses will get it rolling at different points, and at different points the defenses will probably show up too. I think it's going to be like a pretty average scoring game. You might have an interesting game flow where one team gets way ahead and just gives it up. Normally, with a kind of like a surprising team like the Steelers, I'd say if they're playing one of the league's top flight teams, they're probably going to kind of fall apart a little bit and show that they aren't quite there. Philly is such a sloppy team that I'm willing to give the Steelers the benefit of the doubt here and pick them.
It's so hard.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
It's such a. I
We've
guess
got some good games this week.
The closer
as well
I guess.
New York.
I guess the closer the game is, I think the more
Uh-huh.
I'm inclined to pick the Steelers. So I'm gonna pick the Steelers too.
Okay. I think we're both taking probably the underdogs here.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I like what the Steelers have put forth this season. The Eagles are just so sloppy, even though they're also very good. Saquon, I think, had what record did he break this year? It was was it the most yards ever for a player with their first year with a team? Or he broke some type of like record in week 14 for the season.
I don't know. He's probably broken like 4 Eagles records.
Yeah, oh man, I don't even think it was just the Eagles. I think it was an NFL record. I'm not 100% though. But he's just been wildly impressive, and you just wonder what he could have done if he was on a good team his whole career.
Well, if he beats like Eric Dickerson's single season rushing record, then I'll tip my hat to him.
Dickerson the Kickerson.
But I think that guy played when there was only like 14 games a season, so really kind of says a lot. So
yeah. All right, let's go for Green Bay, Seattle. Who you got?
this is the night game at home for Seattle. This is honestly also pretty close, I think. I mean, Packers seem like the obvious favorite, but Geno has the Seahawks rolling. He hasn't, like, fantasy-wise, he hasn't really done super well over that stretch. It's just the whole team as a unit has been pretty good. I definitely think Jordan Love is much better than Geno Smith. Seahawks defense is definitely not that great. I guess I got to give it to the Packers just because their offense is an order of magnitude better than the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the Seahawks have the potential to put on that type of offense, but they don't do it a lot. Green Bay maybe has not looked quite as strong as they did in the midseason, but they're still a very good team. I think they're the heavy favorites on paper, and I don't want to go against that. I'm going for the Pack here.
All right. Our first of 2 Monday night games, we got the Bears playing Minnesota at home. And, I've been so high on the Bears' potential this season, but I've been a fool for most of that. I think there was one Bears game where I called it correctly, where they upset someone the whole year, but I'm not falling for it anymore. I definitely got to give this to the Vikings. I don't know how for real the Vikings are, but I got to give it to them.
Ooh, scoops. So the 2 Monday night games, are they 7 and 8 o'clock, or are they back to back?
7 and 7:30 on my screen.
Okay, yeah, something like that. Yeah, 8 and 8:30. I see it now. Yeah. So these will be going on against each other, ABC and ESPN. I would like it much more if they did it back to back, but what are you gonna do?
That would be smart.
Yeah. Well, that's my best analysis for this game because this is an easy Vikings pick here.
Yep. And then closing out the week, later that same afternoon, we got the Falcons at Las Vegas with the Raiders at home. And if ever there was a feel-good comeback, keep my job game for Kirk, this has to be it. So riding or dying with Kirk, the Raiders are just as bad, if not worse, than the Giants, who are probably the worst team in the league. So
the Raiders are playing at home, though. I would probably pick at least 22 teams in the league right now. Specifically right now, against Atlanta. The Las Vegas Raiders are not one of them. This franchise has been so bad so snake bit. Even they haven't always been so bad. They've just been so snake bit ever since they hired that idiot John Gruden for $10 million a year. Everything has just gone wrong for this franchise since then. I cannot pick them against almost anyone right now. I'm taking Atlanta, and I don't think that Kirk's going to have a great game either, unfortunately, but I hope he does.
I hope so. He better get me like 3 touchdowns, man, and they better all go to Drake London for the love of God.
You playing against a Crushinator in the first round of the playoffs?
Funny enough, just based on how the seeding works, the same
Yeah.
guy I beat to just barely sneak into the playoffs is the same guy I'm playing in the first round.
Nice.
So I have to play him back to back. I finished in 4th place in our league. So
Well, I wish you good luck in that. Hopefully Kirk and Drake will pull through for you, and your vaunted Denver defense will score you all those points. We've already done our prop bets. You've got the triple play on the Chiefs' ineptitude, and I've got Jameis making 5 unfortunate turnovers.
yeah, that could happen. I could see that happening.
All right,
If
looks like we've got.
he makes 5 turnovers, I bet there'll be 3 or 4 touchdowns though.
Yeah, looks like we've got 3 contested games. We've got Dallas, Carolina, which I think in the beginning of the season we would have never thought that would be contested. We've got Cleveland, Kansas City, which at the beginning of the season we would have never thought that would be contested. I guess some people thought Cleveland would be good. And we've got Tampa Bay, Los Angeles, which will be an interesting game. Then we've got those 2 awesome games, Buffalo, Detroit, and Pittsburgh, Philly. Which one are you hoping you get to see? Buffalo, Detroit?
I already looked ahead at my YouTube TV. I get both games, but I'm going over my dad's to watch the Bills. So.
Yeah, so you're gonna watch that. And if
gotta
I'm lucky enough to
watch
get both of those, I'm just gonna be flipping back and forth every commercial because I'd love to see all 4 of those offenses play.
I wish the Steelers Eagles was the night game, so I could watch them both live. You know.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But alas, fate did not set it up that way.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, good luck nursing a 3-game lead against the 3 contested picks.
I
We'll
like
see if
my
I
chances.
can. All right, fair enough. And we've got some good football to watch this week. Hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, see you soon.